welcome to r/entitled parents, or as the name says right up there, we're looking at the post of entitled parents. Let's hop into one in this mess of a subreddit. This subreddit is a complete mess of. But who cares if it's a complete mess? We're gonna take a look at some of these posts, so why don't we do just that? How my entitled mother forced me to break up with my first ever girlfriend in high school. Oh boy, this is going to get really interesting astronomically quickly. Hello again, everyone. I posted yesterday to the subreddit about a moment I had this past weekend with my entitled mom trying to dictate when my girlfriend and I should have kids. Some of the replies I got caused me to realize that I have an entire childhood of events that fall into the entitled parent category, and this is yet another story of how many that I have to share with you all. Buckle up, peeps. You're gonna need to be in it for a long haul on this one. TLDR at the end for those who don't want to read. Disclaimer: possible NSFW mentions of self-harm. Alright, a bit of a sensitive topic in this entire post. I was 16 when this incident happened. I personally believe that this is one of the pinnacle moments of my youth that has partially defined how I behave in my relationships to this very day many years later. Jeez. As the title suggests, the relationship I was in was with this girl. The very first time, my first ever serious girlfriend. She was my first hand holding, first kiss, first love, first hookup, etc. Suffice to say, she was a lot of my first. She was very special to me, but establishing boundaries with my mom at the time was impossible. For those that do not know, my mom is a very traditional, legalistic, conservative Christian woman. She swung the Bible around with authority and used it to undermine my feelings and boundaries constantly. My mom would constantly be asking me to do a phone check and thumb through my messages to see if I've been texting funny things. If I haven't, to delete my messages before a phone check. She would hold on to my phone for a week to see who would text me and what they would send. My mom had zero trust in me, and she felt entitled to put me in an emotional prison and shelter me because
she knew what was best for me.
So when I started seeing someone at my school, I was both excited and terrified of how my mom would react to this. I knew that it would have very little to no privacy with my new girlfriend, which encouraged me to want to get my driver's license as fast as possible so I could spend more time with her outside of school, or so I thought. When I got my driver's license, I didn't have a car, which meant that if I wanted to go out anywhere, I would have to borrow hers. Well, that's quite a crappy situation you've got yourself into. If I wanted to use the car, I had to be on her good side, and she knew it. So giving me more freedoms as I got older, it seems as though she became more and more restrictive as I got older and had more responsibilities. If I didn't come back from basketball or baseball practice immediately after school, she assumed I was out doing bad things. She would constantly ask me things like, why are you late? Why are you late? Were you hanging out with your girlfriend? Were you having sex? Extremely invasive and personal questions that made me feel trapped and without boundaries.
What the fuck? Seriously, what is wrong with this woman? Who does that? Who?
I started dating my high school girlfriend when I was 15. She was a sweetheart who loved playing video games as much as I did back then. It was cool to have a girlfriend in high school who would hop into your Xbox Live party to play some Halo 3 with you and the boys. That is exactly my defining personality right there. Xbox Live party with Halo 3 and the boys. That is exactly me. She was definitely special, and I cared for her a lot. I even loved her. We were both part of teens for So everything physical we did for the first time was awkward, yet a huge milestone for us. So the first time we had sex was the first time for the either of us. So horribly awkward for both of us and full of cringe, but it's still a good memory for me. I guess I could say things were getting pretty serious between us, even to the point at 16 we were talking about going to the same university. We never talked about marriage, although it wasn't never on the table. We fancied the idea, but we both agreed it was too soon and just enjoy what we have going on now. My mom never knew the full extent of our relationship. Good. Seriously, your mother seems like an awful person. She's someone you don't want to tell about a relationship. Which is, yeah, definitely for the best. But even then, she never fully respected it either. She always felt the need to interject or undermine my feeling. No. About the first relationship, she would be giving advice of what I should expect out of a relationship, make it sound like what I had going on with my girlfriend was going to be temporary. That never sat right with me, and I never appreciated it. There were several times where I told her that I didn't appreciate her snide comments about the longevity of our relationships, and she would retort with something along the lines of, I know I'm your typo there. I'm your mother, so I know best.
No!
Now comes the actual incident part. We've been dating for over a year now. We developed pet names for each other, and would talk with each other on the phone daily. During one phone conversation, we parted by telling each other the obligatory "I love you." What I didn't know was that my mom had her ear to my closed door, listening in on our conversation. As soon as I hung up, she entered into my room without knocking to express how wrong I was for telling my 16-year-old girlfriend I loved her. Mom, Cabrini Pro. Mom, Carbine Pro, did I just hear you tell girlfriend I love you? Yeah. So what? Were you eavesdropping on my call? You really shouldn't be saying things like that at your age. But it's true, I do love her. No, you don't. You only think you love her. Thinking you love someone and knowing you love someone is something that only you know. It's not something that anyone else knows. It's a you thing and a you thing only. Not only was I pissed that she was eavesdropping, but the amount of entitlement that she had to just the amount of entitlement that she had to suggest knew that she knew how I felt and thought just because she was my mom angered me beyond measure. It was livid at this point. This is the last straw for me. When I was 10, my dad walked out on my mom and I believe she may have been projecting her failed marriage onto my youthful relationship. I think that's some weird twisted way she believed that she was helping me by invading my privacy, which only gave her more of a reason to continue doing it. What? No. That's not that. Go away with those notifications. That is not okay. That is beyond not okay. Like, that is ruining someone's life. I had to pause to get some context. And what I said to her next was most definitely a mistake, but it was a long time coming.
Just because your marriage ended doesn't mean that you need to project your insecurities about relationships onto mine.
Definitely not a great thing to say to my mom, but I was so angry. Her retaliation to the statement is the peak of this entitled parent moment. Mom, how dare you speak to me like that? You have no idea what it means to be in a relationship. You have no idea what love is. You're only a kid. If you ever want car privileges to spend time with her again, you're going to call her back and tell her that saying I love you is a mistake and immature at this point in time. I was without words. I couldn't believe what she was telling me to say. I was so torn about what to do. I needed the car to spend time with her, but I couldn't also just tell her that I don't love her anymore. This is the most hurtful ultimatum that I've ever been given. I tried to talk my mom down, but she kept saying that we should take away my phone and car privileges if I didn't comply. I was between a rock and a hard place. I had an idea. I would go with what my mom wanted. I would tell my girlfriend I didn't love her anymore, and I could just call her back immediately when I got back on my phone to explain what happened. I knew this was a terrible plan, but at 16, and this being my first girlfriend, I didn't know what else to do. I called my girlfriend back with my mom hovering over me like a hawk. I told her what I was instructed to say and how it broke loose. I'll never forget the confused ramblings and sobbing that was coming from the girl I've loved. It was heartbreaking. She hung up on the last thing I heard was her sobbing uncontrollably. I realized that there's no coming back from this, that I broke this girl's heart. It felt awful, just awful. I genuinely believed... Sorry. I genuinely believe that a part of me died that day. I was so grief-stricken and emotionally traumatized. I didn't eat for 3 days. My mom the whole time was going on what was going on had an aura of look of I told you so.
I have no words either. What the fuck? What kind of sick, twisted son of a bitch does that? Like, Jesus Christ. Dude, I'm so goddamn pissed off. Why? Just why? What's your reasoning behind that? What's your reasoning behind that? Because you think your son can't feel emotions? Like, what the hell?
I tried talking to her every day that week. After a full week, she finally responded to one of my texts and told me to call her. I tried to explain to her what happened. I didn't mean what I said. Unfortunately, she didn't believe me. How can you blame her? I wouldn't have believed that story either, so we broke up and I was left broken, hurt, depressed, and full of hate and anger towards my mom. Since this incident, I've never trusted my mom again when it came to relationships. Her entitled opinion that she needed to be monitored, that she needed to monitor me constantly. Through my first ever good relationship with a girl, my ex after we broke became very depressing, gained a lot of stress and weight because of it. She always struggled with anxiety and mental health, and this didn't help. She even attempted suicide after we broke up. What the fuck? My ex, her suicide attempt was unrelated to me, but I couldn't help but feel a little responsible. She was happy when we were together, and maybe if we still had been together, she would have tried to take her life. Thankfully, she's doing much better now. She's worked on herself a lot and is currently married to a really nice guy. They have a beautiful baby boy and a nice new dog. I forgot to scroll down again. Jesus Christ. TLDR. My entitled mom felt the need to eavesdrop on my phone conversations with my high school and behind closed doors. She didn't like that we tell each other I love you and forced me to tell her that I didn't by leveraging privileges I needed to be able to spend time with her, which resulted in our breakup. That's fucked up. Who does that? Edit. Wow, thanks for all the positive feedback and awards, everyone. Since a lot of you have asked questions about my life and other things she's done, I've decided to go ahead and make a whole collection of posts of things my mom did when I was a kid to the present. I'm thinking that I'll just post one story per day until I run out, which won't be for a while. Give me a follow if you want to read more, or just sort by on this, or just sort by new on this sub. I hope you all look forward to my next post. I will. That is, first of all, that is goddamn depressing as all hell, and I feel really bad for you. Second of all, that was written really well. You explained so much detail on this tiny, all in this few paragraphs that you wrote. Yeah, that was really well written. That was really well described, and I feel bad for you. Sorry. All right. Sorry. You're Indian? Only white people allowed here.
No. Fucking racism already? We're dealing with racism?
S. Me equals me, of course. F equals friend. EM equals entitled mother. K equals entitled kid. B equals bystander. So one sunny day in GA, I went to a park with friend who is also Indian. This lady kept eyeing us, so I went over to her and kindly asked her if something wrong. Then the entitled mother just responded with, "No, nothing is wrong," and went back. 5 minutes later, she walked over to us. "Are you guys Indian by any chance?" We being Indian, obviously saying yes. Next thing we knew, she took her child and ran away. We figured it out. Our parents back and asked us if we were fine. I wanted to tell her thing, while friend said not to. Then the entitled mother came back with her tell kids so. Oh god, no Indians. My parents were surprised, honestly. Entitled mother just came and said Indians are not welcomed in this part. My dad asked why. She responded with a rude, they're Asian and not white, also because Indians bullying my little angel. Sean just went to a different area in the park. Less than 20 minutes later, cops confronted us and tell mother and tell the kid was there with them. Tell mother that they verbally and physically assaulted me and my darling kid. Please, officer, arrest them. They are dangerous. We were just in the 2 years that we have been living in the United States of America, something never happened to us. Luckily, a kind woman, a bystander, was keeping an eye on the entitled mother and entitled kid, and she ran over and said, "Officer, the real criminals." Entitled mother and entitled kid, these Indians did nothing. I kept an eye on them. I heard the entitled mother say the Indians are disgusting and deserve to die in a house fire. The officers needed evidence. Luckily, the bystander who recorded the talk by acting she was texting somebody. Entitled mother was arrested for being insanely racist and verbally assaulting us. Entitled kid was taken to his grandmother by the police. I forgot to scroll down again. I don't get why people treat Indians like aliens. I don't either. What the hell? Okay, well, that first post was so long, I'm only able to make room for 2 posts in this subreddit, so... It was, depressing. That was really depressing, all that. I'm not sure how to act, I'm not sure how to act. All I gotta say is I'm pissed off. But, yeah, that's gonna be it. So, I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Ruining goddamn relationship is fucking hell.
I hate orange juice.